Okay, we're good to go now.
All right, I'd like to welcome everyone to our first meeting of 2025 for the Library Board of Trustees. So I'm calling the meeting to order, and we will we'll take roll, but these are new board members. And I don't guarantee, I might need some help on last names. I'm used to making my best effort, having a bunch of different students over a long period of time. So normally I got it right, but every now and then I got a chuckle. All right. So Michael, is it Boda or Boda?
Boda.
Boda. Got it. Okay. And Anna, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. It's Voloshin.
Voloshin?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't even gonna attempt, that's what I was just saying. Okay, well, welcome. I don't think we've officially been introduced, but, hello. And then myself, I'm here, I think, and, then we have Jandy.
Yes, I'm here.
Got it. All right, then we're in the process of filling 2 more seats. All right, so having done that, I will ask if everyone's had a chance, first of all, to look at the agenda, and if they have any additions, deletions, corrections. Are we all good? All right, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Okay. Anna, you want to second that?
Yes, I second that.
Thank you. All right, all in favor of the agenda as written, say aye.
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 Thank you. Okay, now we're on to the minutes. Now, I'm not sure, Anna, did you get a copy of the minutes that Jandy sent out from last meeting?
I did.
So-
Yes, I got that.
Yeah, I sent out a copy to Michael and Anna, but I mean, they weren't here.
They weren't here, but I mean, if they read them, they might have some questions.
Yeah.
Or, anything, but so all I need is a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting. I read them, they're pretty accurate, or not pretty, they are accurate.
Motion to approve the minutes as written.
Okay, motion to approve. Anna, can you second that again?
Yes, I second that.
Okay, thank you. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, now we'll move on to, I see, do we have any citizens online, Jandy? Okay, and I know we have one in the meeting room here today. So, we are now at citizens' comments, and I'll have Jandy explain the process for making comments, and we'll ask for any comments.
If you'd like to make a comment, you can either raise your hand over here on Zoom, or in person, you can fill out a yellow sheet with your name and information. You have 3 minutes to speak. The board will not respond, but we will have your contact information if we need to get in contact with you. Okay, I'm not seeing anything so far. There will be an opportunity at the end of the meeting as well.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right. Would you like to make a comment or just observing today?
Just here to observe today.
All right, cool. All right. Thanks for being here.
Brad, this is Jennifer. The mayor has appointed her to be our 4th on the library board of trustees.
Oh, okay, didn't realize that.
So,
Okay,
I
well, thank you
invited
for
her
that.
to come in and
All right,
sit at
great,
the
okay.
meeting.
All right, well, good to know. Hi,
Yes.
Jennifer.
Hi.
I realized I mentioned that to Michael and I didn't mention it to you. So, she will be on the council agenda for the 21st.
Okay, cool,
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
So we are now on to reports, and I'll ask Mark, if he has anything to share with us today.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm impressed that you pronounced that correctly, by the way. Some people butcher Mark on the first pronunciation, so
You did not pronounce the last name, you only pronounced the first.
Right, right.
So
That's an old tactic,
So
right?
Yeah, there you go, exactly.
So a couple of things. We have, sent out invitations for the 2025 Community Satisfaction Survey. And so I don't know, these are randomly selected residential addresses inside of the city. So I don't know who they've gone to, but if you happen to be a person who gets one or someone mentions it to you because you are on a board or commission, the encouragement is to complete that as soon as possible. So we're looking for more robust feedback this year than we had last year, so we can, use that data to help make decisions and allocate budgets and so forth. And so that has started, and that survey will be, open for approximately 90 days. And then the goal this year is to use, to report the results out much earlier in the year so we can use them in the budget development process. I see that there is a new Commerce Secretary that's been appointed. His name is Joe Nguyen, former state senator. And so that'll be, we'll have to keep an eye on that because as you know, Commerce is the agency that governs the grant.
Governs the grant process.
Applied for. And so I doubt that in itself is any indication of anything related to the grant, but we'll just have to see what changes happen in Commerce as a result of new leadership.
Can
And-
we explain the grant just to make sure our new board members understand?
Sure,
Okay.
but since you're most familiar with the
I just-
details, why don't you just bring everybody up to speed?
Yes, so we are hoping to turn 23129 Mission into our new library. The state has a capital facilities grant that you can apply for. It's a matching grant, so you give X amount of dollars and they will match it and give X amount of dollars. So we applied for a $2 million grant for the new library. We applied for it in September and we heard back, and the committee recommended us for $937,000 grant. So basically half of what we asked for, which is wonderful. And so basically now it has to go before the State Department of Commerce through their budget cycle in this legislative session, and we'll find out later this year if we've been approved for that grant. We are very hopeful because for as long as the grant has been alive, the monies that have been recommended have all been awarded. So we're expecting to hear roughly in June if we've been approved for those grants.
Do you have concerns with the budget deficit that the state announced, and do you think that will affect this in any way?
So I would say concern, sure. I mean, you never know until the budget has been appropriated and approved. Overly concerned, no. We'll just have to see how the budget process unfolds through the legislative process. And we should have a pretty clear idea, probably sometime in late February, early March, as the committees meet and the budget kind of is formed. But we're certainly keeping an eye on it.
So Mark, how are the grant or the grant recipients, how or when do they normally get notified that the grant is actually awarded?
I think it would be in conjunction with the actual passage of the budget. I would assume
Yeah.
that they would make a formal notification to us once that had occurred.
Got it. Okay.
Oh, and then it's back to me. That's right. Sorry.
Sorry, I cut it.
And my last item is just a reminder, Anna and Michael are new on the, library board. And so if you, I believe you have access to a city email account. You would have seen an email come from me with a reminder regarding some, active shooter training that we have scheduled. And so I just want to point that out here because, we had our initial session last night. We have a couple of other sessions scheduled for some out Tuesdays. And I want to give you every opportunity to, sign up for that so you can participate. It's not mandatory, but we're strongly encouraging participation. So if you're interested in that and we have other board and commission and city council members signed up for the various sessions, just reply to the email and we'll get you signed up for one of those two sessions.
Evan is working with Anna and Michael to get their passwords and everything set up with their
Okay.
emails today.
So once you get into your account, you'll see a couple of emails from me related to this. So, and if you have any questions, you can always, ask Jandy, or me, and we can get you set up.
So Mark, question about the survey. What kinds of, things is the survey looking to gather from the community, and specifically in relationship to the library?
Yeah, great question. So this survey is the second iteration of the community satisfaction survey. And so what it's designed to do is to give us feedback from the community that is specifically related to our strategic plan. And so all of the questions are designed to allow us a performance picture related to the execution of our strategic plan. So there are no specific questions about the library per se, but there are in the answer sets that deal with quality of life and, you know, what kind of services are you satisfied with? There are answer options that are library related. And so we get some, and last year's survey got good feedback related to the library service provision through the survey. But it's not, the entirety of the survey itself is not library directed.
Right. Okay, so as I understand it, that means that there's no specific questions that are directed towards the library.
Right, so for example, the first couple of questions ask, how satisfied are you with quality of life in Liberty Lake? And then the question number 2 lists, like, I want to say 30 things, and it says, based on your answer to question 1, how is each of these things important to your quality of life? And in that answer set, there are at least 2 options that deal with the library. And then there's some downstream questions that have answer options that deal with the library as well.
Will you be able to bring the summary of that what relates to the library activities to us in the?
Oh, of course, yes, absolutely,
Great, thanks, Mark.
sure.
Anybody have any questions? Anna, you're up there, but, so I'm gonna try
Any
not to forget that
questions?
you're up there. Do you have any questions for Mark?
No, she's good.
She's good.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Okay, so now we're on to me and the Friends of the Library. And, of course, they had their annual meeting, in, 1st of December. And at that time, they installed their new, officers. Some of them are remaining, some of them are new. But Robin Beckedahl was installed as the president, Sue Handel was installed as the vice president. Lola Dobbett was, installed as the secretary.
Treasurer.
Our treasurer, thank you, and Joanne, that was, Joanne Marabella, Marabello, her sister was, installed as the secretary, and then Tim Olson is the member at large. So they are operating with that. So they approved their budgeting for the next year, and I think they increased their budget a little bit for the library, this year. And also they worked very hard, towards the end of the year at establishing, the Zahan, fund account, which, James Zahan came to the, Friends of the Library, I think in November, and, asked to start a separate fund, for STEM activities that would be offered through our library. A very generous amount was his donation, and it's through Benevity, and every donation that is made is matched by a corporate entity of some sort. So it's a very generous offer. It really adds a lot to the options for the library in terms of the programming and things that it offers to kids and adults in our community. and anyone can donate to that fund. The fund is actually named, isn't it, it's his wife's, in his wife's name. Am I correct on that, Jandy? I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, I think it's Diane
Diane
Zahan
Zahan.
Memorial Fund.
Memorial Fund.
Yeah, so normally each year the Friends give us about $7,500 to go towards programming. They can't do capital donations. So generally we use their monies for summer reading for the kids. And then other children's programs throughout the year. They usually fund our presenters. So say we get a magician or a children's musician or an artist for adults. Master Gardeners was something they did last year. They will fund those programs. They also fund our Mobius Museum Pass, which is a family pass that you can check out and then take your family to the Mobius. The Mac Museum Pass, art gallery, and then usually during the beginning of the year, we will get tickets to the Spokane Symphony. So you can apply for 4 tickets for your family to go to one of the Masterworks Symphony shows. So those are the things that they primarily fund for the library. They do a couple fundraisers during the year to earn money each year. Do you want to talk about that, Ms. Horay?
Yeah, well, the fundraisers that the Friends of the Library puts on, they put on 2 book sales a year, one in June and one in November. Last year, they were very successful, and each one raised quite a bit of money, close to $2,000 each, which is a pretty good deal when you consider books are only $1 a piece. So you can just see how many books are being taken out of that room in their book sale.
Yes.
And then the other one is the soiree, which is the biggest fundraiser, which is done in, I'll say coordination, but actually it's a donation really of the Liberty Lake Winery, which donates their facility for the Friends of the Library to put on this event. Very well attended, and so that's the biggest fundraiser for the Friends of the Library. And so they're a good organization that really works hard to provide things for the library to do the programming that they do for our community. So they are off and running here in the next week, actually, with their first meeting. So their meetings are the last Thursday, maybe it's next one after next week, yeah, last Thursday of the month. And so that's the Friends of the Library. Anybody have any questions about the Friends? Okay, all right. So the next one is the City Council. And our City Council liaison is not with us today. So I think we'll just move on.
Yeah. So next is me, Library Director Report. I'm going to talk about some year-end stats for you guys. I made a little graphic that just kind of shows some of our year-end numbers. Through the state library, I'm required to fill out a very extensive report that's like 30 pages long. Librarians are numbers driven. We love our numbers. And so that's something that I will start usually comes to me from the Secretary of State in March, April. And then they usually give me about a month to complete it. So I don't have, basically I have some small numbers for you today. And then later this year, we will have a very detailed spreadsheet for you guys to look through. And then basically after I finish that report with the state library, we will give our annual report to the council as well. So I'll present the numbers to you and then we will work together to draft a presentation to give to the council. We normally do that in June of the year. So it's later, it's like halfway through the year, but that's just the way that has worked out best with, giving the most complete big picture of the library. So let me pull up what I have for you today. And this is something that we posted on our social media pages. So you guys might have seen it already. Okay. So this is our 2024 wrapped kind of like the Spotify Wrapped, and a lot of other businesses that do those kind of things on social media. So our checkouts for 2024 were 119,344. That's up 11,000 more from last year. Last year, we were at 107,900-ish. So really great checkout circulation numbers for this year. The library's collection is about 27,000 volumes. And so it's a huge, I'm really pleased with the numbers for this year. As far as visits go, we are at, 69,575 visits for 2024. That's, nearly 7,000 more from last year. Last year, we were at 62,000 visits.
Jan, you had a question about that number. Does that include the parties and stuff like that?
No, so
That's
this
just the
is,
people who walk through the door to use the library during the day.
yes, this is the people that walked through the door each day. We have a people counter software with a camera and lasers and stuff that counts how many people come in and out. So yeah, this is just visits into the library, not like touch a truck or musician at the park, but we do account for those numbers in our programming
That's
statistics.
definitely right.
Yeah, so they get counted, but in a different box.
I think it would be interesting to see that report as per day, like kind of think how many days of a year you're open. Because you see a significant number per day, and well, you have 200, 300 people working in every day at the library, which is more than probably any other city building right in there.
I would think for sure it's more than, as far as like a public building for the city, the library is definitely the one that gets the largest footprint.
But I would encourage you to put that on one point
Yes.
too, make it visible.
No, I think that's a great idea. Okay, so our next is, this is how many people own a library card. 7,428 people own a library card. Last year we were in the 6,000 range. I think it was 6,500. So we're up about 1,000. This number, ebbs and flows. We want to have an accurate assessment of how many people have a library card. So this is not like every single person that's had a library card since 2003. Every 2 years we will go through, or I guess every year we go through and we take a look, and if a library card hasn't been used in 2 years, we deactivate it and take it out of the system. So we want to have an accurate representation about how many people are using the library.
Janet, do you know out of that number, how many are city residents and how many are just,
It's a
outsiders?
quarter. So 3/4 are Liberty Lake residents, 1/4 are non-residents. So we allow anyone who wants to get a Liberty Lake library card to get one. They do have to have proof of identification and, proof of address. But if they live in Green Acres, if they live in Newman Lake, if they live in the county, they can get a library card with us. The only limitation is they can't use our downloadable online resources. So they can't use the Libby app, but they can get the Liberty app through the county. Same with like our Mango languages, our Canopy streaming. Those things are specific to our residents only, but libraries tend to have similar resources, so they are able to get those resources at their county library or home library.
And that's similar to how Spokane County Library handles this for Liberty
Yes.
Lake residents.
Yes, so we have a formal reciprocal agreement that we established with them in 2012, where we both agreed to this. So anyone in Liberty Lake can get a county card, they can use the library, they can go to any of their programs, they can't use their online resources, and then the same for us. So, yes. Let's see, our meeting room and study rooms were reserved 455 times last year. As a reminder, our study room is new. We got it, September 2022. So we've had it for about a year and a half. And, we've been tracking the usage because A, we like to track the usage, but B, also, as we're considering a new library and trying to figure out how many study spaces that we need and that sort of thing. So this is something that we keep track of. So this is people who are studying with us, people who might have a large meeting, could be like an HOA, that sort of thing. Large community meetings, the Kiwanis uses our room each month as well. But our big room is usually mainly for HOAs, community meetings like the Kiwanis, and then kind of informational sessions. A lot of the local banks will use us for like a class on Medicare or something like that. And then our study room is primarily for, small groups, study sessions, small business meetings, a Zoom meeting. We get a lot of people that try to use it for telehealth appointments that don't have internet or their internet isn't great at their home. That's something we get a lot of usage every single day, basically. So that's just kind of a big picture of what people use the rooms for.
Those would be patients who, right, so citizens who need.
Yeah, so if they come in and they need a telehealth appointment. We do have a laptop that can be checked out as well. So if they don't have a computer with them, they can check that out and use it for their telehealth appointment or to study or, make a resume, whatever it is that they need.
And for the for-profit entities like a bank, or so do we charge for the rental of the room?
We don't allow use for profit, if that makes sense. So it's like, I guess what I would say is we don't charge for anyone to use the meeting room. It's free, but we do have guidelines on who can use the room. And our emphasis is on community groups. But we will have people that might just have like a private meeting and need a larger room to use the room, but it wouldn't be for, like a sales pitch or something like that. It's generally for educational community purposes. Does that make sense?
So Jandy, can you break out the exact number for each room or?
Yes, I can.
Not that I'm asking you
Yeah.
to now, but I just wondering if okay.
Yes, so our LibCal software keeps track of that. And this is total, how many total, but yeah, we can break it down more individually as well.
And there's an
Um,
online system for booking the rooms.
Yes, so I'll show that to you guys in a few minutes, how we have our online booking software. These are our top checkouts for 2024. Number one is our puzzles and games, our kits, that sort of thing. It is our most used item, but also you have to keep in mind, we have a lot of them. So the data is not 100% perfect, but this is our board games, our puzzles, our library of things, our kits type thing. Number two is our Mobius Discovery Center Pass. It allows 2 parents and 4 kids to get into the Mobius Discovery Center for free. Generally, patrons check it out for 1 week, and the idea is they can go one time during that week and use the pass. Number 3 is our laptop kits. So we have 3 laptop kits that check out. It comes with a laptop and a hotspot, and they're able to check that out for 1 week and use it at home. Our top book for 2024 was Kristen Hanna, The Women, which came out in the summer. Number 5 is our hotspot kits. We have 10 hotspot kits that check out. These rotate through CIN, so other libraries can reserve the hotspots as well. And we have 10 of those kits right now. And then number 6 is our first chapter book, Cat Kid Comic Club. This is a series by Dave Pilkey. He's super popular. Multiple of his books made our top 10 list. I didn't want to include, 5 Cat Kid books in a row, so I just included the top one for that. Number 7 is First Line Wins. It was a Reese's Book Club pick. Number 8 was Dogman, which is also by Dave Pilkey, very popular graphic novel series. And then number 9, another graphic novel series, Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
If you have kids, you're not surprised.
Yes, you're not surprised at all that those are the top 3 kids' books. And then finally, number 10 was James by Percival Everett, which is hugely popular. I put someone on hold for it yesterday, and they were like number 66 on the list. Keeping in mind that since we share books with other libraries, there's 18 copies of the book, so it's not as long of a wait list as it sounds, but that one is really popular right now. And so that's like the main stats that I wanted to share with you for my report today. Down here below, so this is also the report that I send to the city council. Each month I send them a monthly report with all of our statistics. So I'll be sending this to you as well. And this has a breakdown just for the month of what our checkouts were, what our renewals were, what our downloadables were, through Libby. Our patrons have access to, Washington Anytime Libraries and our Idaho partner, Cooperative Information Network. So I combined those numbers each month, for what our statistics are, and then I will include 2023's comparison, so that you can see if the number is growing, staying the same, or shrinking from this time last year. I also include all of our Storytime programming statistics, so how many people came to Storytime, how many people came to after-school crafts, our teen programs, our tween programs, our family programs, our adult programs, and then our statistics on our meeting room usage and our proctoring. Something that not everyone knows that we do is we do proctoring appointments and tech help appointments. So if you're an online student who needs a test proctored, you can make an appointment with our adult librarian and she'll reserve the study room, and then they can go in that room and take that test with having someone watching outside the door, making sure everything's going well there. And then Michaela also does private tech appointments. These have increased a little bit in the last quarter. After COVID, it was a little bit slower. But people can bring in their Kindle, they can bring in their iPad, they can bring in their laptop, they can bring in their cell phone and say, I need help doing X, Y, Z, and she will help you do it. It's not specific to library things. So it might be, can you help me set up an email? A patron came in last month and was like, I want to publish my book on Amazon. How do I do that? And so she helped them walk through that process. So just, a lot of older people particularly need help with technology, and this is something that we try to help them with. Yes, so that's everything as far as my report. So you can expect to see this in your inbox each month as well.
All right, thank you, Jandy. Anybody have questions about Jandy's report? I think it's pretty cool when Jandy gives us the numbers of the usage in our library. It just reinforces how important the library is to our community and how well it's used by our community. All right, so you're officially welcomed now to the board, because Jandy is going to do a little bit of calling it a workshop on how the board interacts with the library and in helping the library succeed. So Jandy, you're up again.
Yes. So let me share my screen. I thought I would just go through some 101 things that have to do with the library and the board and city council and that sort of thing. Since we have so many new faces here. So we're going to start over here. So I thought I would start with how the board interacts with the city council. This is the city's website, libertylaw.gov. The city council meets twice a month, the first and the third Tuesday of the month. Generally, the board will give a quarterly report to the council. We generally do it in March, June, September, and December timeframe is when we usually do these quarterly reports. Normally, so next month at our February meeting, we'll talk about what we want to discuss with the council, and then usually myself and one of the board members will develop a report, and then we'll go to the council meeting and give that report. I just wanted to point out for you, because not many people know, where the agenda and the Zoom and all that kind of stuff is posted. So if you come to the city's website, you click on your government, you go to agendas and minutes. This has all of the agendas and minutes for all of the commissions. Of course, city council is at the top of that, but it includes, the planning commission, the library board, the Parks and Arts Commission, that sort of thing. But this is where they post their agendas. And this is also where I will post our agendas each month. So as you can see, January 7th, last week, the city council had a meeting. This is where the agenda packet is posted as a PDF. And then if you look over here, it has kind of like a TV icon. This is a link to the city's YouTube page. So that's where we will post all of our board meetings. So after the fact, anyone in the community can go watch our board meeting. The same goes for the city council, planning commission, etc. So you can also save, City of Liberty Lake Walk. You can subscribe to it on your YouTube page if you want to do that as well. So this is where I post each month. I post the Friday before our meeting, our agenda. So it's there ready to go. And then that's where we will, so today I will go after the meeting and upload our November minutes. And then I will download our video, post it to YouTube, and then I'll have a link here posted as well. So if you ever need to go back and watch a meeting, if you missed a meeting, obviously you can email me and I'll send you the link, but we do have it all posted for you guys and the community to see.
I was gonna say, everything's archived there too, so
Yes.
if you have any reason to go back and look at some of the previous, meetings, they can all be accessed.
Yeah.
So
I think We've been posting on YouTube since February of 2021 or 22.
Just about the same time COVID.
Yes, it was right around COVID. We have all of our meetings on YouTube posted there. And then, of course, we have our minutes going back to 2003 through the city archives and that sort of thing. So I wanted to point that out for you. And now we will go to the library page. So obviously the library has an icon down here. We have a GoDaddy link, so it will post if you type like libertyLakeLibrary.com, libertyLakeLibrary.org, all of those things, it will redirect you to our Liberty Lake Library page. Some things I wanted to point out for you. Each month we post a newsletter that goes live the first day of the month. We post that newsletter here as well. This is just kind of some of our library news, things that we're excited about trying to get information out to the community on. So this is our website. If you click search the catalog, it will go to our catalog. I think my account also goes to our catalog. This is our new catalog that we just got in October of this year. It's brand new, it's beautiful, much better than our old one. It kind of has like a Netflix feel where it's kind of the rolling carousels with all of the new books that are coming out. I'm really excited about this new catalog. It's much more user-friendly, but it's also great for people who maybe don't know what book they want to read next. We have these different categories, what's new for kids, what's new for teens, what's new for adults. Of course, it has what's trending at the library. This is for our statistics for our consortium, not what's trending in the world, what's trending around our area. But then we also do have, for some of the other categories like New York Times bestseller, trending, that sort of thing. But you can see what's brand new at the library. So these are our brand new chapter books that we have. These are our brand new picture books that we have. So if you don't know what you want to read next, this is a great way to find it. And then of course you can search for books if you have a certain book that you're looking for. I'm going to go next over events and interlibrary loan. So let me just go back to our main page.
Jandy, I have a quick question for you.
Go for it.
Are you able to place these on hold to get picked up, or is it just to kind of see what's available?
Oh, yes. So it is fully functional. So I could click Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. It says, right now it says, oh, it's on the shelf. And then you can just go in here, click place hold, type in your library card number and your password, and it will put it on hold for pickup.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
So if it's a book that's on our shelf, we pull holds twice a day, morning and afternoon. So then it's just on our hold shelf waiting for you to pick up. If it's something that's in our consortium, we get shipments from those libraries on Tuesdays and Fridays. Tuesday afternoons, Friday afternoons. So once the books come in from the courier, we scan them. And once they get scanned, it sends an email, text, or phone call to that individual and lets them know your book's here, it's ready to pick up. And they have 5 days to come pick it up. So yes, fully functional. So the next thing I wanted to point out is our events calendar and our room reservation calendar. We have this software called LibCal that handles both of them, but obviously the pages look a little bit different since one's for events and one's for room reservations. So I'm gonna go up here to events. This has all of our events for the month. Obviously you can change the calendar and see, you know, what's coming up in the next few months. But it lists all of our story times, it lists all of our programs. And it also gives people the ability to, sign up for the class. So we don't do signups for story time because that's, just open to anybody, but say I wanted to sign up for Bunko, which is an adult program. You can come right here, click Bunko, and you can sign up. Maybe she's keeping it open to everybody. I'm not seeing a registration. Let me see. Because it's a Saturday program. So here, Snowman Art Galore. Our kids' school after crafts are very popular. So you can click register, begin registration, and then you can put your name or your child's name, full name, first name, last name, and email. And then it sends them, you've been registered for the class, and also gives them, so it gives them a confirmation email, but also gives them the ability to cancel. So if last minute they can't make the craft, they can go in there and click cancel, and it will alert our librarians that there's cancellation. And then, of course, we usually have a waiting list. So then it goes through and we'll let the next person know, hey, you have an opening, you're now registered for Snowman Art Galore. So, our after-school crafts kids programs are very popular. Erin posts them 2 weeks in advance and they usually fill up within a day or two. Sometimes quicker, sometimes a little bit slower. But this is a new software that we got last year. The previous software had just, they weren't gonna support it anymore.
Jen, yeah,
Yes,
I was just looking.
Yeah.
Just going, do you, you put down in your description, the number of spaces that are available?
yes, it usually will say, I think, like, a lot of our programs are 24 for kids.
Okay,
And it will say, right now it's not showing because it's just up to the waiting list. But I think normally it'll say, 21 of 24 spots, 3 of 24 spots. Normally it will tell them how many spots are available.
so if it says registered for waiting list, does that mean it's full and you're
Yes.
just, okay, that's
So
what.
you're just getting on the waiting list.
Got it.
I always tell people to put their name on the waiting list because we always have cancellations. So yeah, it says there are currently 0 registrants ahead of you, so this would be your number 1 on the wait list, for this class. So the other thing
Which one of your texts has to do it's all this stuff in there?
So, basically it was a lot of legwork in the beginning, but now all of our templates are established and that sort of thing, so it doesn't take as much time. But it's something where whoever's doing the program will put the information in. So Michaela and Aaron do 99.9% of all of it.
Yeah.
But like story time, we have it just set for the whole year.
Yeah, got it.
But they'll go in and do the individual information for each stuff. So the other thing I wanted to show you is our room reservation software. So right here along the top, we have reserve a room. We have our meeting room and our study room. So this is where they can go in and put a reservation. I tell people to go over here to search by space and then they can see the meeting room and the study room. Show availability. This is our reservations today. So it's booked from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. People for the study room can do a 2-hour booking if they need, or as little as 30 minutes. But over here, they can go over and see a week view and see when stuff is available and when stuff is not available. So as you can see, we're pretty booked this week. Friday's our emptiest day, but they can go ahead and, put their first name, their last name, and their email address and reserve the study room. With the meeting room, I have them fill out a little bit more information. And then the meeting room does have to be approved by one of my staff, just to make sure that somebody isn't trying to book their baby shower in the meeting room, because that's not something that we allow for.
Has that happened?
Yes, yes, for sure.
I figured it had when you said that.
Yeah, so that's why we make those parameters, just to make sure that they are abiding by our policies.
Did
But
they
they,
receive an email that says they're approved?
yes, so basically they'll put in their information. It asks their purpose of the meeting and their estimated attendance. And then they'll put everything in, it will go to our staff email, and then anyone can see what the purpose is of the meeting and that sort of thing, and they can go ahead and approve it. If they have any questions about it, they can forward it to myself or Michaela, and we'll do a deep dive and make sure everything's above board. Prior to this, it was us doing it manually in our calendar software, and it was very time consuming. So we're so glad to have this new software as of last year, because it makes things much more streamlined. And also patrons are able to know really quickly. With the study room, it's immediate. With the meeting room, it's usually that day that they'll get a response saying it's approved, or this doesn't abide by our guidelines.
No, it's just.
I think in the last year, I've denied maybe 2 or 3. So people, it's not something where we're denying people every day.
I was just gonna ask that this is really all a result of that new software that. Yeah.
Yes,
Last year.
yes.
Can you remind me the hours for the 2 rooms?
So our study room is open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., just our open hours. Our our meeting room is after story time, so it's usually noon to 9 p.m.-ish. We do allow after hours meetings. So it's one of those things where if they're there before 6, we can lock up our back doors, and then they have access to the meeting room and the bathrooms, but they don't have access to the rest of the library. And then we have that outside door that they can just exit out of. If it's something where maybe they're trying to use the room 7 to 9 and the library closes at 6, we have a key that they can come in and check out, just like you would check out a book. You check out the key. The key only works for that meeting room door. They're able to come in, use the meeting room, use the bathroom, and then we have them just put the key back in our book drop. So then it goes right back into the building, and they've returned the key and the meeting's over. We're hoping with our new library to install after hours access with like a keypad, to where people will it'll generate a code that works one time, they're able to do the keypad, get in, and just use the meeting room for their meeting and then exit out the door as well.
So currently it's Monday to Friday.
Monday through Saturday. We do Sundays occasionally. We do get requests for them, so occasionally we do Sunday meetings. And it would be that same process where they have to come check out the key from us prior. And then they can use just the meeting room on Sunday. And then we have a staff calendar that shows when there's reservations, so we can make sure the doors that we need to are locked and that sort of thing. And usually with after hours, they will come like a couple days before, check out the key, and then we walk them through the room, and this is where everything is, this is the doors that'll be locked, this is where the bathroom is, this is, give them a lay of the land. So, yeah. Let's see, we'll go back here to the main page. A couple other things I wanted to point out is our interlibrary loans. This is different than our consortium. So, we share books with several other libraries. This is for books outside of those libraries. So this is for maybe older books that are more obscure, or maybe just a series that is older, maybe we don't have it anymore, or maybe it's newer and just no one in our area happened to buy it. We do it through the US mail, and we have a worldcat.org is the name of the site. And basically anyone who subscribes, any library that subscribes to the site can request materials from other libraries. So it's kind of like a giant catalog where I could type in Harry Potter and see books, people in Pennsylvania that have that book, or people in Hawaii that have that book. Sometimes it's even overseas in Ireland or United Kingdom or something. But basically we will put in requests for that material to those other libraries. People can accept or reject if they want to share the book. And then basically they mail it to us. And they provide a due date that the book is due back, and then we can check it out to that patron. And then they return it by that date, and then we mail it back to them. So it's just another way to get people materials that we don't have access to in our system. And generally, we do books that are free. So the only thing that is charged is postage. And not, it costs $20 to rent this book. So that's just another service that I wanted to make sure you're aware of. Rebecca is our ILL clerk, so that's one of her tasks, is each day she'll log into the site and check if there's any requests for materials from Liberty Lake, or if any patrons have put in a request for that kind of material.
As someone who has used this, hopefully not abused it, I can ask you about that.
Yeah.
This service, I was unsure at times if I'm asking the library to purchase a book, or I'm asking the library to bring a book from somewhere else just to borrow it. Because at one point, one of my requests was, oh no, we're gonna buy this book, because it's a great book that we need to have.
Yeah, so sometimes the service gets used one of two ways. Michael comes up to the desk, says, do you have this book? I look up, no, we don't have that book. In which case I might say, then I would say as staff, would you like us to put an interlibrary loan request in? He would say yes, and then I would put in the form to our clerk. The other way it gets used is on your account, you have the ability to do a purchase suggestion, where you say, this is a book I think the library should have. This is the title, this is the author, this is the year. Then myself and Michaela will go through those requests, and we'll look at the book and say, do we think this is something multiple people might want to have? If it is, then we'll look into purchasing it. If it's something that's more obscure, or maybe something that's a lot older that we don't think very many people would want, then we'll do an interlibrary loan request. And we'll let the patron know, hey, we're gonna get this book for you through ILL. And then we'll put that request into Rebecca and she'll fill the request. So those are the two ways that people use it the most.
Who pays for the postage? For the ship?
We as the library do. We get library shipping rates from USPS, so it's very cheap.
Which is very cheap.
But we just have a budget line item that's set aside each year for those requests. And that's something that just each library has, is like a postage budget. So the kind of idea is it's kind of back and forth, like they're paying to ship it to you, you're paying to ship it back, we're splitting it 50-50.
So much for ship.
Yeah, it's reciprocal, so that sort of thing. The last thing I wanted to point out, for you guys today is our, about category. So this includes our mission, our vision, our values, our library policies, information about our friends of the library, information about the board of trustees, volunteering. We currently have 10 volunteers at the library. We have volunteers and then our teen volunteers. Our regular volunteers come in, we usually have 1 or 2 each day, and they will shelve materials, and they'll also pull holds, books that people put requests on each day. We have 1 to 2 of those each day of the week to help with shelving. And then we have our TAG group, which is our teen advisory group. They do volunteer hours, but they also help Michaela with book displays in the teen section and planning events for teens. They also assist with our kids programs. So, Ridgeline, a lot of CV students need to get volunteer hours each year. So we have different opportunities where they can come in and do volunteer hours. Some of that is, helping Miss Erin with the snowman craft. Other things, it's like, we shifted a lot of our adult materials, and they all came in on a Sunday and spent like 8 hours shifting books in the library. So it's a variety of tasks throughout the year, but with our adult volunteers, generally, it's like, somebody will come and volunteer for us for a whole year or 3 years or 2 years or whatever. With our teen volunteers, it's usually a little bit less. So they might say, I need to do 3 months. I need to do 1 month. I need to do 6 months. Some of our teen volunteers will stay with us for multiple years, and some of them it's just a short stint. But obviously we think volunteerism is important, and we want to help our teens get the hours that they need, and, sense of community. And also, if they're planning the activities, hopefully they'll want to come to them and tell their friends and that sort of thing. So before, I know I sent you guys a link to this prior to being on the board, prior to your interview. but this is a list of all of our library policies that we have here at the library. There's about 16 of them. Our circulation, computer internet policy, library card eligibility, meeting room, all the way down to like suspension of privileges and that sort of thing. So this is something that you as board members will be going through and looking at these. We did do several policies during 2022. So we won't have a large list of these on our docket for this year. But that's something that I'd ask you during this month to just go through and look and familiarize yourself with these a little bit more.
Do those have a schedule to renew?
Yeah,
review?
we like to review them at least every 4 to 5 years. Sometimes if there's something that comes up, then we might need to revisit it sooner, if that makes sense. But the majority of these have a 2022, 2023, 2021 date on them.
Gonna say, we spent a lot of time
Yes,
during that time. reviewing
yeah,
most-
2021 and
most of these,
2022, we went,
Examining them.
Yeah.
Determining if there were any updates or changes that you made.
yes. So, this is something that we might have to go through 1 or 2 maybe this year. But it's something that we spent a lot of time the last few years going through a lot of these. So there's those. The last thing I wanted to point out today is, some training opportunities since we have a lot of new board members. So the Washington State Library, I'll be sending you these links. The state library is, of course, one of the groups that's over libraries. I'm going to be sending you a link to their resources for trustees. They do a once a month Zoom training on trustee issues. So that's something that I'll be sending to you to take a look at. They also archive them as well. So that's something I'll be pointing out. But basically, I was hoping you guys could go through this, basically their LibGuide page that kind of talks about the library board's roles, their areas of responsibilities, stuff on how to run a board meeting, Robert's Rules of Procedure, Robert's Rules of Order, information on public records, information on policies. Obviously, there's a lot here, so we won't be going through everything in depth. But I was hoping that you guys could take a look at this main LibGuides page, which I'll send you a link to that. And then this is where they archive all of their trainings that they've done through Niche Academy. So as you can see over here, it has information on advocating for the library, dealing with materials challenges, how to hire a new director, reviewing and approving policies, strategic planning. I was hoping during the month that you guys could just go over this first video, which is welcome to the board, and talks about your roles and responsibilities as a trustee.
Jandy, did you access that site through through our page?
No, it's through the Washington State Secretary of State. So I'll send you guys the link.
Yeah,
To
okay, got it.
Yes.
That looked very similar to ours. That's why I asked with the pink heading and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
is that our page? No, I've been there several times and it's a great resource. I would recommend.
So my vision is maybe once every few months I'll have you guys do one of these videos. Of course, I want it to be something that's kind of dealing with what we're working on. So we're not at this point hiring a director. So we probably won't watch that video, but I thought we could start with the welcome to the board, your role as a trustee. So I'll send you a link to this video as well as just their main wiki page. So let's see. So that's everything I had as far as our 101. I think our last thing is to approve our board of officers for 2025.
Right. Yeah, so normally I sit down with Jandy the week prior to our meetings and we go through and set our agenda
Yes.
and talk about what's necessary to bring up for us to discuss at our board meetings. And then I also ask that any board members, if they have anything that they would like to have put on that agenda, that they either send either myself or Jandy an email, with that information that they'd like to have on the, agenda or have a discussion about at our board meetings. So we are now at that point where we, are supposed to appoint or vote. We don't have a lot to vote on, or to vote, but anyway, so we have these positions that we have to, fill today. A board president or chair, I don't like the word president, a board chair, a board secretary, a, council liaison, and a Friends of the Library liaison. So, we only have 3 people here, so I don't know, we'll get to that when we get to that, but anyway, so, Jenny and I have talked about it, I know she's talked to you guys about it, but, I am willing to remain as the chair if everyone is acceptable to that, but I'm also okay with that. If someone else would like to step into that role, I'm okay with that as well. So, but I've been in this role for 3 years, so, familiar with some of the things leading up to now and with the new people on the board. We basically have to have a nomination from, we have to have
We have to have a chair and a secretary installed this month, according to our bylaws.
right, but we need to have some sort of a, motion from the floor
Yeah.
to establish that. So, I can't be the one that does that. So I need to have, someone, from the floor, motion for
Board chair.
a board chair. And then we'll take care of that, and then we'll motion for a board secretary. And then we usually just ask for, I don't think we have to motion for a council, liaison, but we do need to have someone step up and be willing to fulfill that role, because it's pretty important for us to have that person, attend and then also report to us about what's happening at the council level. So I'll entertain a motion first for, a chair.
So I'll nominate you for Brad for the chair. Motion to.
Motion to nominate Brad for the chair, and I'll accept that nomination. Do we have a second for that? That has to be you, Anna.
I
if
will,
you're
yeah.
okay with that.
I will second that nomination.
Okay, we're very limited on the things that we can do. It's kind of, feels a little odd. Okay, so everyone that is okay with that nomination, and it's been approved, been moved and seconded, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And I'm willing to fulfill this role again this year, and happy to do that. I know, I love sitting down every week, or every month and talking with Jandy about library stuff and things that are going on there. All right, so now we need to have a motion for our secretary, who was already up there, so.
was already
So
secretary.
Michael will have to have a motion from you.
We'll make it work. So I have motion to approve Anna as secretary for, as, secretary for the board.
And I'll second that.
Thank
So,
you.
are you okay with that nomination?
I am.
Or that, okay, good. So, those in favor of approving Anna as our new secretary for the year 2025, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and I'll say aye. So we have a new secretary. And, we normally have a Friends of the Library, liaison. I'm willing to fulfill that role until we have another person on, or our other 2 people on. I'm a member of the Friends anyway, and I attend every month. And I have an inroad. I have someone who goes every month anyway. She's on the board, so I can fill in for that information. And so, Michael, would you be willing to be the council liaison for?
And I think we made this pledge to the city council that we will be transparent and communicate on a regular basis.
Sure.
So I want to follow that.
Great. Super.
Can we just do a motion in a second, just to make sure all the things are crossed?
Okay, no, we can do that if you feel that would be best.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion for Michael to be our, and Anna, that has to come from you, for Michael to be our council liaison.
Did you want me, sorry, it's just kind of muffled when you're speaking. Did you want me to nominate or approve?
I'd like you to, I make a motion to nominate.
Okay, I would like to nominate Michael as the council liaison.
Okay, I'll second that motion. All of those that approve of Michael as our liaison to the council, say aye. So that would be you, Anna.
Aye.
Aye, and I'll say aye, and we now have a council representative. All right. So I think we've taken care of those things and we're good to go. So thank you, all of you, for being willing to accept those roles, and we'll move forward with those positions. All right, so that's off our list. We don't have any other action items. Before I go on to citizen comments though, Jandy, is there anything in particular that we need to have that we should now entertain this from the rest of the board members? Anything that we want to put on at this time for our next meeting?
I just wanted to for the next meeting, I have it scheduled for Wednesday, February 12th at 1 p.m. That's our normal second Wednesday. We're a week late this month. Does that date and time work for everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I don't have anything big at this point.
Okay,
In March, I wanted to go through our 2019 community needs assessment just as a group. But I kind of want to wait until we have our full 5 people here.
that would be a good
Yes.
plan. Yeah, so that community assessment is very valuable, even though it was done now 6 years ago. It's still the information on our current library and suggestions for moving forward from that library is very, it's really a good document to work from, so.
And then I'll keep everyone updated. I think it's February 18th is going to be the presentation from BCRA on where we are with the new library and the facility master needs assessment. So I'll let everyone know for sure when we have that council meeting scheduled, just because I would love for all of our board members to be able to either, Zoom in and listen to that meeting or watch the recording so that we all have a clear understanding of where the city is on the new library and then the other new facilities. The council kind of wanted us to do a big picture look at, if the library moves here, what we're gonna do with the rest of the city facilities and and that sort of thing. So I think it'll be a really important meeting.
Right.
So I'll keep you guys updated on that.
Great, thank you. All right, any other comments from board members?
Nope.
Okay. All right, so I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Anna, second that, please.
I second the motion to adjourn.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
In favor of adjournment, say aye.
Bye.
Aye.
We are officially adjourned. Thank you all for being here.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.